Thursday, May 16th. Welcome back to the Damon Brews Show, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches. Got a very interesting, delicious new sandwich to tell you about in a little bit. But it is great to have you back here. Hit like and subscribe, all those good things. Again, north of 20,000 subscribers now. Thank you so very, very much for continuing to come on back here, watching the content. Really do appreciate it. Liking and subscribing go an awful long way to this bad boy continuing to build. Let's hop right into it. Let's hop right into the meat and potatoes of this 49ers schedule. As the thumbnail suggested, there are a few weeks here that feel that they're kind of unlike the other ones, and I'm calling it the Gauntlet. Starts in week 6. And maybe I'm giving Seattle just a little bit too much credit here, but I always am wary of overlooking a division rival. Division rivals know your tendencies, and even though Pete Carroll has turned over, it's still Seattle. It's still Seattle, and the Gauntlet begins with a game in Seattle on Thursday night, week 6. That is followed week 7, Kansas City Chiefs, who are coming off of a bye week. The 49ers will be coming off a 10-day rest period, having played on the previous Thursday. So at least they got that going for them, but I don't think I need to tell any 49ers fans about who the Kansas City Chiefs are. The Dallas Cowboys in week 8. Now, depending on what you feel about the Cowboys, how easy of a game that has been for the 49ers, it's still the Dallas Cowboys. It's still a big game, and it's against a team that plans on being an NFC contender. Whether they can beat the 49ers or not, we'll find out once again. The answer has routinely been no, they can't. But we'll see if that remains the same. Week 9 is a bye week. Following that, week 10 at Tampa. Look, Tampa Bay could have been in last year's NFC title game. They could have been in last year's NFC title game. They were a playoff team, and whatever flavor of Baker Mayfield shows up that day will determine whether or not Tampa Bay is kind of an easy out or a rough out for the 49ers. So that's a could go either way. It's on the road. Don't take it lightly game. Again, week 11, it's the Seahawks. They're back on the schedule. So you got a Chief Division rival on the Gauntlet part of the schedule twice. And then week 12 at Green Bay. That is a very good team. That is a very good quarterback you'll be facing on the road in very cold weather. And you follow that up in week 13 against a very good team with a very good quarterback who you'll be facing on the road in cold weather at Buffalo in week 13. So the Gauntlet, when you take a look at it, the Gauntlet includes, a pain in the rear end division rival twice. Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, Josh Allen. Woof. I mean, seriously, woof. Now, we got to draw it off at some point. We got to cut it off at some point. In week 14, which isn't included in the Gauntlet right now, the 49ers are hosting the Chicago Bears. And by week 14, we'll know what Caleb Williams' rookie year looks like and whether or not the Chicago Bears actually got something cooking with a rebuilt offense to complement a usually halfway decent defense. Remember, Bears weren't god-awful last year. They weren't. So that could be a game that goes into the mix of not so easy either. But again, rookie quarterback at home. We'll figure out whether or not that needs to be included. But weeks 6 through 13, it ain't easy, kids. It ain't easy. Overall, in 2024, the 49ers are playing 8 teams that reached the postseason last year. Buffalo, Dallas, Detroit, Green Bay, Kansas City, the Rams, and Miami and Tampa, along with one additional team, again, who was above 500 last year, and that's Seattle. So it ain't easy out there. San Francisco's going to face each of their postseason opponents in this regular season. You got Green Bay, you got Detroit, you got Kansas City. Again, Detroit is so late in the year that we're not going to worry about what that game could look like, because that game will either be an all hands on deck, gots to win it type of game, or one of those, rest starters if you can type of a football game. We don't know. There's an awful lot that has to happen before the Lions are back, on the top of my mind, something to really, really worry about. But it is going to be a freaking monster year for the 49ers, and there is nothing easy when you take a look at this. I mean, most teams, when you look at their schedule, you can see like a 3-4 game stretch of, wow, that's really tough. That's really tough. I mean, the Steelers got a schedule that is so backloaded with tough games. At one point in time, they're going to be playing 3 games in 10 days. So safety schmafety as far as the players are concerned. But it ain't going to be easy out there. By the way, Barry Ford, first man in with a super chat today. Congrats on getting past 20K. Looking forward to 30. Thank you very much, Barry. You have been an OG in the Plus chat for a long time now, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Guy Haberman is going to be joining me this time tomorrow. I'm looking forward to talking to him on Friday Guy Day. And, this is something I've been talking about with Kruger, who I'll, of course, be doing a wake up tomorrow with Larry, starting at 8:45 West Coast time here on YouTube. The 49ers are the only team this season to face 4 teams coming off of a bye. Now, last year, exact same scenario, they still reached the Super Bowl. But, man, the rest differential for the 49ers against their opponents this year, 22 days. Opponents will have gained 22 days of rest over the 49ers at game time. And that is kind of significant. There's nothing that is as significant as the 13 days that the Bengals got to prepare for the 49ers when they were coming back from a rough road trip in Cleveland and in Minnesota. They come home and get waxed by the Bengals, who had 13 days to get ready for them. This will be something that I get into more with Guy Haberman. I know he's all over this. Warren Sharp on Twitter is obviously all over this. Our friend Josh Dubow of the AP, he's all over this. And there is something to it. Can the 49ers overcome it? How about this? They have to. There's no room to complain about anything when you're trying to reach a Super Bowl once again. So go out and handle the team in front of you. But unrested teams make for uneasy games. And there's a lot of uneasy games if, all of them were being contested exactly 7 days apart from each other. If it was normal, you play Sunday, then you play Sunday, then you play Sunday, then you play Sunday, then you play Sunday, this would still be a rough schedule. It is unlike that for the 49ers. So we'll be getting into that more as we get into a show with Larry on Friday, a show with Guy Haberman on Friday. Got some good stuff coming up here on the Plus. Cheers and welcome. Like and subscribe, all those good things. And I feel that we got sip of the day potential right here. There it is. That was an early sip of the day here in the show, but I was up early this morning. So there you go. The coffee went on a little earlier than it normally does. Happy to report Ozzy back to school today. Jack, he was not out of school, so all systems back to normal here in the Bruce household. What else we got? I know that there's an awful lot of chattering going on in the chat room. Something's going on. Dale's worried about the 20th. I don't even know why. Let's see. Oh, happy 28th birthday to Mooney Ward. All right. Happy birthday, Mooney Ward. There you go. Dale, sea chickens are not scary. I'm not saying that they are. But if you take your eye off Seattle for a second, that's how you get beat. Seattle and division rivals mean this isn't going to be easy. There's no such thing as an easy game against the division rival. This even applies to the Arizona freaking Cardinals, who always figure out how to give the 49ers everything they want. I don't know how. I don't know why. Oh, no, wait a minute. I do, because they're division rivals. You cannot overlook a division rival. It is a really good way to get beat. Now, the 49ers, swept their division? Well, no, they dumped one that really didn't matter to the Rams at the end of the year. But it just ain't easy winning in division. Full stop. There's no such thing as an easy NFL game anywhere, and that applies doubly to division rivals that you want to look past, Dale. But thanks for watching, as always, Dale. Thanks for being a part of the first 20,000 for sure. No way, Damon. I'd say Arizona's better than the Seacocks. Okay, hey, you're proving my point. You're proving my point. Division rivals, and we'll see. Maybe Seattle comes out in the post-Pete Carroll era with different looks, different tendencies. That means you're not playing the same team that you're used to playing. Any team with a good defense and a good home crowd is officially a tough out. What else we got? It's time to say thank you again to our sponsors. And I told you that my man Ike has been an integral part of the early success here on this channel. We thank him so very much for his patronage here. And my man Ike is likely to pop up in chats any point in time. Listen to this, though. There is a new sandwich that debuted yesterday. It's available at all Ike's locations, and it's the Cameron Brink. Cameron Brink played at Stanford, drafted by the LA Sparks, and right now is like battling memories of Anna Kournikova for not even attractive. We're talking about like fashion model quality. Cameron Brink is gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. She wore something down a red carpet where she had her, the underwear she was wearing poking up on the hip. It was a low-riding thing. And look, I'm a very happily married man, but I even stopped and watched that video twice. I mean, it was like, Cameron Brink, holy shit, honey, you are gorgeous. And she's a good basketball player, too, obviously. Created a legend for her own self down at Stanford, very close with the Curry family. If professional WNBA basketball doesn't work out for Cameron Brink, I'm going to tell you, she's got options in life. There's no doubt about that. And listen to the sandwich that she's got with Ike's. Of course, Ike, is all around Palo Alto. He knew Andrew Luck. He knows a whole bunch of Stanford athletes. He got to know Cameron Brink. And Cameron Brink right now is a sandwich at Ike's. And listen to this. Listen how delicious she sounds. Pastrami. You had me at pastrami. Like, you got my full attention. You start any sentence with the word pastrami, I will read that sentence. Pastrami, purple slaw, buffalo wing sauce, orange glaze, wasabi mayo, extra dirty sauce, avocado, American, and pepper jack cheese. That sounds like a fever dream of words and sauces that I like. And if they didn't all complement each other, they wouldn't be all on that same sandwich. I know that much about my man Ike. So I got to get some Cameron Brink in my life. Obviously, she's unavailable, but the Cameron Brink sandwich is now available at all Ike's locations. Check that out. Now, maybe you go to the Dublin or West Portal, and you are going to find a woman as beautiful as Cameron Brink to sit on down and have a drink with. Maybe. And if not, what you're going to do is find my man Kenny behind the bar. You're going to find a great Guinness. You're going to find a great bar to sit around, tell the old war stories in. A lot of great memorabilia on the wall, but it's not a sports bar. It is an Irish bar. It's a neighborhood bar. It's all kinds of bars all in one. It's got a little dive bar feel to it. I love it. Absolutely love the Dubliner and West Portal. I am thrilled that they are here sponsoring the Damon Bruce Show. So remember, I'm the guy telling you to go out and support your local restaurants and bars and establishments. They need you. They need you. They need your business. Make sure you, next time in West Portal, stop on into the Dubliner West Portal and say, hey, guess what? Damon Bruce sent me in here. Want to grab a beer? Hi, Kenny. If that's Kenny behind the bar, ask, are you Kenny? If he says, yeah, I'm Kenny, he'll know me. But love our sponsors, love the Plusers, love the chat, love the super chats. Thank you all. And again, memberships are available. And boy, I do know that it's been a while since anyone has heard from Sports Bane, but I heard he's lurking. If you want a Sports Bane in your life, you're going to have to become a member because he's way too spicy to be consumed by anyone who is not among the initiated. So maybe think about supporting the channel with a membership. But again, thank you for supporting the channel just by being here watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify, all of those good things. Speaking of very popular, attractive blondes, let me give you my favorite wrinkle of the NFL schedule that people are actually like, is this fair? Are they complaining? I don't even know. But I thought this was funny. This kind of made me laugh. The Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills are playing in Buffalo on November 17th. Bro Bible, which is a great website, was looking at this and said, coincidentally, or perhaps not, that is right in the middle of Taylor Swift's 6-show run in Toronto. She plays 3 shows at Rogers Center from the 14th through the 16th. She just happens to have the day off that the Chiefs are in Buffalo, and Buffalo is about 2 hours away from Toronto. And then she goes back to finish her shows at Rogers Center from the 21st to the 23rd. But she will have time off in between. Toronto, again, just a couple hours away. This means she's probably easily on the road to go support her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, in Buffalo. And all I can tell you is that Taylor ain't afraid of going to Buffalo. She was there last year when the Chiefs were on the road, right? And all I can tell you is that if you wanted to venture the guess, did the NFL consider Taylor Swift's location when they scheduled that game? The answer is absolutely yes. Of course they did. Taylor Swift being in the building means more people are watching for a Taylor Swift cutaway shot than would be normally. That's it. The NFL is in the eyeballs business. That's what they're doing. They want as many people to watch as humanly possible. The reason that you are watching is irrelevant. So any more sprinkles on top for reasons to watch a game that is a big game anyway, Buffalo, Kansas City. Of course, the NFL probably looked at the Taylor Swift schedule and thought, yes. Just in case anybody forgets, the NFL is here for money, not fairness. The NFL is here for rampant consumption, not scant curiosity. That's what we're doing. So, yeah, the NFL probably did schedule that. And they probably put more concern into scheduling that than they did in player safety. This brings me back to the Steelers, who were, mentioned at the top of the show here. The Steelers have a brutal finish to their schedule. They have a 3-week stretch of Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs. That's a big 3-game stretch. How do you make that harder? Well, the NFL found a way. Those 3 games are going to be played in 10 days. 3 NFL games on your body in 10 days is one thing. 3 NFL games against the Eagles, Chiefs, and Ravens is another. Like that, you want physical, nasty, big boy, look out, you're going to need an ice tub tomorrow football? That's what that is. That's what that is. Even if all 3 of those teams, the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Ravens, regress, that's brutal. Steelers have a brutal finish to the end of their schedule. And the NFL really doesn't care. Player safety, schmafety. we got eyeballs to attract. Let's get to another thing that obviously the NFL, if it does care about it, hasn't said much to refute anything that Harrison Butker said at a commencement speech. You've probably heard about this by now. The Kansas City Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker, was at a commencement speech. Before I even start with that, let me just ask you a quick question. In what scenario would me beginning a sentence with, "Did you hear what the Kansas City Chiefs place kicker said?" What would ever give you any reason to care about what came after that, right? Did you hear what Harrison Butker said? No, and who cares, right? I mean, pretty much, wouldn't you feel that way? Unless Harrison Butker were, committing a full NFL no-no where he was talking shit about another team, there's no way I could possibly care how the sentence that started with Harrison Butker said ends. I don't care. I don't care. Well, what if he said something deeply offensive? Again, I'm really hard to offend. So let's lean in and see. What did this guy say? Okay. So a commencement speech at Benedictine College, which, is a theological school. It's a small, private, liberal arts college based in an awful lot of religion. So consider the location and the source. And he gives his commencement speech at Benedictine College, where the critics are calling it basically the "get back in the kitchen and raise those kids" speech to the women who were in the audience. And people who love the speech, are saying, hey, this is faith-based thinking that society is missing these days. So I guess it depends on, where you're coming from, whether or not this appealed to you or offends you deeply. He encouraged women to be homemakers. He praised his own wife. And again, it's just odd to encourage women of any graduating class to be a homemaker. NBC News says during a commencement speech last weekend at Benedictine College, a Catholic liberal arts school in Atchison, Kansas, the NFL player rallied against abortion, Pride Month, COVID-19 lockdown measures. He basically went full-on evangelical Republican. All those talking points are what he put into a college commencement speech that if he had done it in New York City and Los Angeles and Chicago and San Francisco, he's booed off the room. It seemed warmly received in the moment he said it. Didn't offend the room he was playing to. Again, he's playing to a room at a theology college. So there's going to be a lot of what more modern people in our approach would say backwards thinking is there. I guess my official position on this, and this would be if I could give a personality trait of mine as a gift to the world that I think that the world would do well with, you got to learn how to not care about things. Who cares what Harrison Butker said about anything? Really offended by it? Just say, who cares? Who cares? This guy is a backwards thinking, going in the wrong direction of progression of society, coming from a place of privilege where, you know what, his wife has the luxury of being a homemaker. Not many families have that. Not many families have the luxury of, hey, one of these parents can just stay home. We don't need a second income. That's not the way the world works anymore. Consider the source, consider the location, and then ask yourself, in what scenario would I possibly have cared about what Harrison Butker thinks of anything? Who gives a shit? You got to stop being offended by everything. You do not have the right to an unoffended life. You just don't. And even when someone speaks a whole bunch of backwards thinking, Neanderthal, get in the kitchen honey stuff, you got to just say, who cares? Who cares? There are no amount of words Harrison Butker could ever speak that will affect your life. Don't worry about what Harrison Butker's saying. Worry about what politicians are saying who are actually in positions of power. Positions of power to get thinking like this advanced. Care about that, not this. Good Lord. I mean, and Harrison Butker, who fucking cares? If you really want to, this Damon, don't say this, that might make people uncomfortable. If he had come out and just left gender out of it and just said, moms, dads, there is absolutely no amount of money that you will ever bring in or professional experience that you could ever have that will be more important to your child's development than being a great parent. That's true. That's true. Money can create comfortable lifestyles, but you might be raising a couple of real young assholes in a comfortable lifestyle if you don't do a good job raising your kids. As someone who had a job that they really, really loved, as someone who has a job that they really, really love, my wife has a job that she really, really likes. Both of us right now would be very happy to walk away from whatever we've done professionally to spend more time with our kids, because that's the most important thing. There is no amount of sports talk that I will ever leave on this God's green earth that will be more important than how I raise my boys to be good young men, to develop into, real men. And, old-fashioned homes and households with moms and dads raising kids. This should not be an offensive topic, but boy, did he deliver something in a very offensive manner. Or again, if you were sitting in that room, you probably weren't offended by it at all. It's the way those people think. So, little advice from Uncle Damon. There's nothing that Harrison Butker could ever say to affect a woman's life who isn't his own wife. There are forces working against women at a political level that should have you shitting your pants. Ladies, forget about Harrison Butker and make sure that none of you, not a single woman, is voting against her own vagina in the upcoming election. Because there is a box that if you check this box, you are pro-women, and if you check that box, you ain't. You can determine which is which. I'll let you decide. So, I guess what I really want you to know is Harrison Butker is not worth the time or the effort. And a lot of people want to say, well, why, how come the NFL isn't doing anything? It's called a right to free speech. This guy wants to stand up and identify himself as sort of backwards thinking kind of an asshole. Let him. I like when people tell us who they are. I like when someone tells me what they really believe in. It lets me know where they're coming from. So I think I know who I'm dealing with now. And guess what? I don't care. I don't care what Harrison Butker thinks about anything. Harrison Butker could have come out being the most pro-women, pro-abortion, pro-everything. I wouldn't have cared about that either. I wouldn't have cared about that either. Not for a second. By the way, I see a super chat coming through. Did I get it before it disappeared? Anthony, The league is praying Brock falls from grace with this schedule. No. Look, it'd be impossible to look at the business that is done around the 49ers and say the NFL is against that. The NFL is not against the 49ers. Don't start, Anthony, don't be some Raider conspiracy theorist that thinks, oh, the NFL's out to get me. It's not. It's not. So everyone just needs to calm down. Calm down on what you think the NFL's out to get you. Harrison Butker is hardly a boogeyman to ever be worried about. Just don't worry about it. Like, seriously. You have to disengage. You know, here's the thing. A lot of people, they use the word trigger. Trigger. This is triggering. This is triggering talk. I feel triggered by. Hey, your triggers are your fucking problem. Okay? What triggers you, that's on you. It's not a. You can't be policing everybody's thoughts. You can't be. What offends you is up to you. I strongly suggest in the year 2024, try being offended by less things. You know what the most powerful 3 words are, maybe in the English language? And this isn't apathy. I don't care. I don't care. Again, unless Harrison Butker is talking about my wife, Jillian specifically, I don't care. Why would anyone? He's a kicker. Who cares? Anyway, what else we got from your world of sports as we get through a show here, never wasting your time? And we will have a little Club Plus for you this afternoon. We're going to hop in, so I'll get back to these in just a second here. Giants can beat the Dodgers after all. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I saw it on TV. Oh my gosh, it happened. They avoid a date with Broomhilda. Oh, I was ready to bring Broomhilda out. I really was. Logan Webb, look, the guy's he's the modern Matt Cain. He really is. He was solid against the Dodgers. The bullpen did its job. Doval came in. He did his job. That Ohtani at bat, he's up there feeding Ohtani 100-mile-an-hour cutters, and Ohtani still went off the plate and had a base hit to left field. God, Ohtani's a special player. The Giants are 5 games under 500 here in the middle of May. That is hardly a deep enough hole that you can't come back from, but they got to start playing better. And they actually have the matchup this evening that they really need, and that was a day off. What did they play, like 15, 16 days in a row with guys getting hurt like every other time they're out there? They got a weekend series with the Rockies that starts on Friday, and then Monday it's the start of another road trip. They got a 6-gamer back east with the Mets and the Pirates, so rest up and good luck on the road. Let's see. The A's, their decent stretch of baseball feels like it's come to an end. They've lost 4 in a row. They're going to try to get a game in Houston before they leave. And then when they leave, they're going to Kansas City, where things aren't necessarily going to get any easier. Right now, the Kansas City Royals have the best home winning percentage in the American League. So look out for those Kansas City Royals as you roll into Kauffman Stadium. I do love me some playoffs. I even, I'm watching some NHL playoffs. I know there's not a lot of talking about the NHL here that's going to get the channel much attention, but I absolutely watch, and I tell you right now, the problem with New York City is that New York City's teams get so shoved down our throat when they suck. When they're actually decent, it feels like, what are we, the boy that cried wolf? What are we doing here? Hey, dude, New York City's got the right to be pretty excited about the position that 2 of their franchises are in right now. The Rangers are a win away from the NHL's Eastern Conference Finals. That Game 6 is tonight against the Hurricanes. You got the Knicks a game away from their Eastern Conference Finals. That game's going to be Friday. Tonight, good for Madison Square Garden. I love games at Madison Square Garden where there's something going on. It's good theater. It's good TV. The Rangers tonight are not playing at Madison Square Garden. No, they're in Carolina. And the Knicks are going to be back at Market Square Arena. Let me just show you how old I am. Gamebridge, whatever frickin' field house, wherever the Pacers play. There they are. Tonight, do or die for the Minnesota Timberwolves. You know, after going down 0-2, Nikola Jokic dropped one of the great third quarters of any career in Game 5. And what do you know? After going down 0-2, the Nuggets have rattled off 3 wins in a row, and tonight could rip off 4 in a row. Games in Minnesota. We'll see if Rudy Gobert gets, just trounced as a defensive player of the year, who Jokic is just going over, under, around, and through. The tip-off is at 5:30 on ESPN, and I am in. And another little thing for you to pay attention to this weekend, did you see that the PGA Championship is underway at Valhalla? Yes, we got another major. I like majors, even ones played in Kentucky. Be a lot of cousin fucking going on around this major. But, so is life in Kentucky. And there you go. That's it. That's all the news that's fit to print. The gauntlet of the 49ers schedule. Don't worry about Harrison Butker, not for a single solid second of your entire life. That's a great way to go through life. Giants got a day off that they absolutely needed. The A's are just, dangling onto being interesting at times, and other times very easy to ignore. Playoff hockey, playoff basketball, a golf major. Yeah, I'll take it. I will take it, and thank you for taking in another Damon Bruce show. If you're listening on the podcast, this is where we part ways before we get to Club Plus here on YouTube exclusively. So what can I tell you, good podcast listeners, other than thank you very, very much for tuning in, that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. You ready for a squeaky disco ball? Hopping right into the chat. What have we go? Make sure, says True Blue, that Sportsbane cleans his underwear before he does another video. What? Is there some Sportsbane underwear issues I don't know about? Again, I'm not Sportsbane. I don't know. Take that up with him. Take that up with him. Konnichiwa, Joe G. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you. What else? What else? Let's see here. Old Dirty Hungus was at PT this morning. Matthew Dellavedova? Physical therapy? There you go. Otis Bird. Hey, how convenient. Taylor Swift can just go from Toronto to Buffalo. Yeah, it's like the NFL almost planned that, didn't they? Again, being upset that Taylor Swift is going to be at a Chiefs game. If you're a football fan, that means you've lost the mark. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Let's see. What's going on here in the chat? Hey, Damon, Russell Wilson's going to earn his money in those weeks. I don't even know if Russell Wilson's going to be playing in those weeks, Albert. They could be on to Justin Fields' time if he doesn't play well, right? Not worried about the Steelers because they're not on the 49ers schedule. How about that? E. Scott Burns is sharing that the SF Examiner is reporting that Anchor Brewery might have found a new owner by the end of May. Let's bring Anchor Steam back from the dead. Absolutely. I mean, I hope so. I love me a steam beer. Albert Quinn. Albert, says somehow the Steelers are still finish around 500. That's because Mike Tomlin is the single best head coach that nobody talks about in the NFL. Guy is fantastic. We always, whenever you can bring up the Vanderjack idiot kicker part 2, I don't care about what people think and believe who are not in power. I don't care. Old Dirty Hungus, Harrison Butker, the bigot dickhead who also dated a man in college. I don't know about that. Is he one of those like Catholicism made me not gay guys? Is he one of those? Did he go to the Catholic retreat to turn gay boys into not gay boys? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Native Dancer. Hey, Damon, what about a Benedictine and brandy? Very well. Well played. Well played. Damon, it's a Jesuit school. Those of us who went to USF or Santa Clara know how much those views really don't reflect any thoughts at most Jesuit schools. Our admissions would not have let such a speaker in. Look, I did a year of college at Iona. I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy. Like, if you are old school, die-hard Catholic and you think being gay is wrong and abortion is wrong and you apply your dogma to all that, okay. You got the right to believe in that. I have the right to disagree with that. I have the right to go out and vote for a political party that wouldn't suck up to that. Culture wars, I don't care. I don't care. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of everyone being separated into groups. Here's what it comes down to. Do you believe in the future or do you want to go backwards in time? I like the future. Dale, I don't know. He should be able to do it. Yeah, that's a thing. Harrison Butker should be allowed to give whatever old-fashioned commencement speech he wants to, the same way the Ku Klux Klan should be allowed to gather in a public space. I don't like him. But unlike Elon Musk, I am a free speech absolutist. You should be able to say whatever you want, but there is something called consequences. Like, I believe in the right of the Ku Klux Klan to assemble and talk whatever they want. I also believe in the right for them to get their asses kicked, for people to start identifying who they are, and get fired from their jobs for saying such racist, horrible, horrific things and being proud of it. I got no problem with someone showing me who they really are. I got no problem with it. Damon, what about all these college campuses that are being, all these protests going on? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, when you're in college, you do a lot of dumb shit with the sanctimony of a pope. Remember, there's no such thing as a 22-year-old who knows a fucking thing about the world that has never left college campus. It's just a bunch of kids. Kids masquerading as social justice warriors. Me, I dismiss them all. I'm over here with the adults. I don't care about what the kids think or say. And in college, do all the dumb, stupid shit you want to. I don't care. I don't care. I just don't get offended by things the way a lot of people, that's the thing. Like, people go around wanting to be offended by everything. They want to be offended by everything. So when someone says something that could really offend you, oh my God, they just glam all over it. What's the NFL going to do? What's the NFL going to do? Nothing. They're going to send him out to kick extra points. They're going to send him out to kick field goals. Well, what about Harrison Butker and Colin Kaepernick? Colin Kaepernick was blackballed for blah, 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 blah. And those two are not connected. They're not. They're not. Let me tell you, Harrison Butker is allowed to say whatever he wants to say in some fucking gym in the middle of Kansas. What got Colin Kaepernick in trouble is he was doing that stuff at work. That's the difference there. Oh, and one guy was black. There's the other difference. Say, Damon is the voice Bay Area leftists need to hear. Look, if you go to the extreme side of either political party, it's Looney Tunes. It's Looney Tunes. Damon, can you straighten your glasses? It's bugging me. These guys, here's the thing. Ozzy grabs my glasses off my face. These are very thin glasses, and I think that they're bent. I think that they're... Yeah, sorry. Like, I hate doing videos like this. I'm sorry if this, but yeah, Erwin, I'll try to do it better there. You know, remember, if Harrison Butker really, really offends you and you want to not support that guy, you also have to never go to a San Francisco Giants game ever again. You know, San Francisco Giants Gay Pride Night, while their owner is funding a political party that wants to end Gay Pride Night forever. You know, so which side of the fence are you on? You know, I know what the illusion looks like out on that on-field ceremony, but in the meantime, Charles Johnson is putting fuck you money into the what do you think about gay people argument. But you got to know when to pick your battles. You got to know when things should really bother you or not. Harrison Butker is not one of those things. Mark Graves, exactly. See, look at this. Pick your own battle. Some things aren't worth the breath that comes out of the mouth. It's the truth. But everyone just wants to get into just, oh, you know, this offends me. I want to show you how much this offends me so you think more of me. It's the virtue signaling. How about less virtue signaling and more just truly authentic, not giving a fuck? That's what I'm all about. And Albert again. Damon, the perfect advertisement for reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which you mentioned last week. Yeah, there is. There are, you got to strategically place the fucks you give. Or don't give, I guess would be that. To change the subject, thank you very much, Jude. Congrats. What's LNS sometimes? I like to turn off my screen because I feel like it's the damn radio show, especially in my ride. Well, hey, this is why you got to download the podcast there, Jude. And it is this without a screen. Again, this face was never meant to be part of the show. At no point in time in my career did I ever envision an eye full of this with my fat chin, my graying hair, my crooked glasses, my, what, you know, on a scale of 10, I'm a 7, 6, 8. You were never supposed to see this. This was just supposed to be a voice that you heard, but here we are. Again, I didn't do this. This was not my job. This was not what I signed up for. But here we are. What else we got going on here today? Matos with a sweet catch. Yeah, he did have a good catch last night. We got a home run out of Yaz, right? Good thing Tyler Glasnow was not pitching. He was skipped. That might have been the difference right there. Giants actually scored a few runs. UC Steve, Market Square, Damon. Those were the days. Reggie versus Jordan. Those were good days. Market Square Arena used to be a fun arena. It's where I saw the closest I'll ever get to Led Zeppelin. Page and Plant. I skipped a finals. I skipped a final to go to that concert. It's where my priorities were. I went to the professor the day before and I said, so if I skip this final, what's my grade going to be? They're like, in this class, you're going to get a D. I'm like, but I'm graduating, right? Like, he's like, yeah, you will graduate whether you take this final or not. I'm like, I'm going to Page and Plant. It was a great decision because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to remember that Page and Plant concert. I can't even remember what the subject was I got the D in, much less anything from that subject. Chef A. God, I love watching Jokic. He was unbelievable in that third quarter of Game 5. He was unbelievable. Dale says, Damon, will you actually watch golf on TV? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, an entire 18 holes? No. But I'll watch a back nine of a major? Absolutely, I will. Yeah. And I do. I like a golf nap. I like the dulcet tones of Jim Nantz just whispering me to a happier place. I love a 4K, high definition, slow motion bunker shot where the sand is just spraying everywhere. Love that. Rick, Mighty Bone saying on Long Island, I lived through 4 Stanley Cups with the Islanders. Dude, the Islanders were hot. Hot for a second there. Oh, Damon, Sports Bane with underwear on his head. Did I put underwear on my head for a Sports Bane set? I can't remember. There's a lot of things I do that I don't even remember that I did them. Anthony, dropping a $2 super chat to say that his 49er prediction is 14-4. You already got him playing 18 games. They can't go 14-4. There's only 17 games out there. But look, I'm going to tell you right now, they'll be lucky to be in the 12-win department. 13 means you're probably the 1 seed. If you are just going to walk up to me right now and sell 11 wins. Damon, I'm selling you 11-6 right now. Guaranteed 11-6. Go to war at 11-6. I'm not going to tell you what the other teams around you are, but I'm going to sell you 11-6 right now. You going to buy it, yes or no? I'll buy that. The schedule's brutal. And remember, every single one of those teams that the 49ers played in the playoffs last year, they're a little bit better this year. 49ers feel like they're about to drift into maybe a little bit older. So I'll buy 11-6 right now and take my chances with that. 14-4, I would buy that fictitious record too if you could give it to me. Sporticus is right. College used to be a place where conflicting views are not only encouraged, they are invited. It's how you teach critical thinking skills. Critical thinking. Like any 20-year-old wants to do that these days. 22-year-olds these days look around at their peer group to be told what to critically think about and how to critically think. Independent critical thinking, hard to find. Hard to find. Yeah, I did see this. Bill Maher had some of the worst protest takes on his podcast, and Bill Burr roasted him. I saw that. Bill Burr went on the Just Talking to Bill Maher, Just Talking Podcast, whatever it is. And he blew Bill Maher up just saying, who are you? Who are you to say anything about anything? You're a fucking comedian. Like, it was great. And look, I like Bill Maher. I like Bill Burr. I like them both. But yeah, I also like when sanctimony gets a little dunked on. And I don't think Bill was quite prepared for the level of Dominique Wilkins that Bill Burr brought to that conversation. Okay. Albert, you know what offends me? Kyle Shanahan crumbling in big games. You can't say every big game, just the big game. By the way, I'll just say it one more time. Most teams in football would kill to complain about how often they're losing Super Bowls, because at least you're in the Super Bowl. If losing a Super Bowl is a bad year, what is the year for the team that didn't even reach the Super Bowl to lose it? What kind of year did that team just have? If you look for things to bother you, then you will be bothered all the time. Your outlook on life is your choice. Sporticus, indeed. Joji. College kids now get triggered way too easily on subjects that have zero bearing in their life. Yeah. It's how they feel special. Michelle, thank you very much. She's bumping me up to a solid 7.5. I'll take it. Again, you're selling me 7.5. I'll buy that right now, just like I would 11 and 6. Anthony, but Damon, the voice is a 10. Oh, thank you. Thank you very, very much. My voice looks great in a thong. E. Scott Burns saw a page and plan at the Coliseum Arena. Probably was called the New Arena at the time. Yeah, that's probably where it was. It's probably what it was called when that tour was happening. What I thought was incredible is for the encore of that show, they came out with a big part of the string section from the Indianapolis Philharmonic Orchestra, and they played Kashmir for about 15, 20 minutes. And, you know, how do you get Kashmir to be even better live? You bring in a whole string section. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, all these cellos. Dun-dun-dun. Oh, it was great. It was great. I remember walking out of that and I overheard somebody complaining like, hey, they didn't play Stairway to Heaven tonight. I'm like, if you want to listen to Stairway to Heaven, go turn on the fucking radio. You just got a 20-minute Kashmir with a live string section behind it. Like, quit complaining. I'll tell you my favorite element of these student protests. My favorite element is the hunger strike and then demanding that these pizzas are delivered. I do love that. T from the 203. Damon, what's up? I've been missing in action lately. A guy is from Miami. I thought the MIA missing in action, not MIA Miami. Coffee on me today. Thank you very much. Super chat T from the 203. Appreciate that, brother. I think we've pretty much put this one to bed today. That is it, boys and girls. Somebody should tell that guy that Kashmir is a better song than Stairway. Amen. Amen. It was fantastic having you here today. Let me invite you back tomorrow Invite you back tomorrow, 8:45 in the morning. Yours truly, Larry Krueger, here on the West Coast, breaking on down the 49ers schedule and the outlook for the upcoming season. Once again, Guy Haberman will be joining me at 11 a.m. I'm really looking forward to having Guy back on the show. Thanks to all of you for being here. You are some of my favorite people on the planet. There is no doubt about that. And that's why it breaks my heart to let you know that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.